Flag Race is one of the 3 challenges that make up a guild's noblesse skills. It consists of completing 3 laps as fast as possible on one of 3 different maps that cycle between each other weekly. It tests the very basics of your character control as you attempt to traverse these maps with simple movements, jumps, and abilities like a high jump and a dash. And when given enough practice, such character control even nudges into useful territory in boss fights. In this video, I'll be explaining how I navigate the Sunset Race, and how I go about getting a perfect score on this map, which is to complete all 3 laps in less than 1 minute and 50 seconds. This new Sunset map actually has a lot of elements from the old map, but adds some more obstacles that you will need to traverse to finish it. Consistency on this map is definitely something you're gonna want to get down at some point, but this map specifically will be testing your patience more than anything. Incorrect timing with any of the flame traps can easily spell your loss of a perfect score, so be sure to use practice mode to your advantage if you need it. Additionally, being consistent in flag races also means not messing up any of the ability shortcuts. However, unlike the daylight race, there is actually only one area that will be using the high jump and the dash respectively. And as much as what has been added onto the Sunset map, this race can still be completed with just snowshoes alone if you wish. However, there is one segment of this race that is surprisingly more comforting to do without snowshoes toggled on, so keep that in mind. Furthermore, so long as you're consistent, the rally skill won't even be needed for us to obtain a perfect score. And for majority of this map, it may be better for you to just not use it, period. This would be due to the fact that the Sunset map itself is quite more compact compared to the night race and the daylight race. Use rally at your own risk, however don't complain if it messes up you or your guildmates who run alongside you. You had it coming. There are 3 more things that I want to point out before starting this guide. Firstly, the objective of my flag race guides are not to show you how to complete these races as fast as possible. They're more to show you what I think will be the easiest way in order for you to get a perfect score. Second, this map has a perfect score line of 1 minute and 49 seconds or lower, but as long as you're pulling off your jumps well enough, there's actually a lot of room for forgiveness, at least compared to the daylight race. And lastly, this video is made with the idea that you are racing by yourself. Currently, at the time of this recording, if you race alongside other players, some of the stars will not appear on your screen, and as far as my knowledge goes, this is considered to be unintentional. My theory on this is that the game is only detecting one racer in the map, and spawns stars for that player. The stars only spawn back on the map once you complete a lap. But if one person sees the cooldown stars and then another player completes the lap, the person who saw those cooldown stars will see them despawn, whereas the person who just completed a lap will see all the stars. Is it a bug or is it actually intentional? We won't know until Nexon makes a move. Anyways, on with the guide. Upon entry into the race, we're going to get set up on top of the portal. As I mentioned before, this race can be done entirely in snowshoes if you wish. However, there is one segment that in my opinion is easier to traverse with snowshoes off. When the race begins, we're going to immediately turn on snowshoes along with head over to the left side. You can use a dash here if you want. It should be up by the time you reach the point where you should be using it anyways, but this dash is only a lap 1 thing. You won't be doing it for lap 2 and 3. Once you head to the edge here, you can fall down and take the boost pad up to the first portal. If it doesn't throw you in immediately, you can just jump into it. This will take you to the portal up above that drops you right into another boost pad that will send you towards this rope. You can grab this rope by holding the up key through this entire process. After grabbing the rope, start heading down in order to drop into another portal. This will send you over to the next segment of the race. Now, a little bit of a precaution here. When you take this portal, you're going to drop down on a hidden boost pad here. Do not have your left arrow and jump key held down for this. If you do so, you won't hit the wall, and that's not good. Now, once you collide with the wall and drop down, you're going to have to line up a jump here. Our objective is to land on this small platform here, as it'll put us close to the next portal. If you know how to adjust your character trajectory, then line up the jump however you wish. But if you're looking for a way to 100% get it all the time, just bonk into the wall when you jump. When your character collides with it, you'll fall down, hit the boost pad, and as long as you're holding down no arrow keys, you'll land on this platform 100% of the time. After this, it's just a couple simple hops over to the next portal, which will take you to the new area, but be careful about the flame trap here. If it hits you, you will be forced to use your S jump or take the long way around. After taking the portal, you're going to see this tree right beside where you get dropped. We're going to climb it. Here's a layout of how the platforms look on this tree. Now, one thing you can do here is 1 or 2 jumps before you actually enter the portal basically the last mini platform, you can hold down your right arrow and jump key. If both are held down through the process and you take the portal, you should be able to land on the first platform of the tree. However, if you are looking for a reference point just in case, you can use this little iceberg as one. Once your character makes it past the iceberg, jump. After you make it onto the first branch, you can do 2 more non-movement hops. Just press your jump button, no arrow keys. Doing this correctly will put you at the top of the tree, and you'll be jumping over to the platform on your right. Just like before, you're going to want to be careful of the flame trap. If it's it's timed poorly, it can punish you pretty badly. Once you make it past the flame trap, this is where you can swap out of snowshoes if you wish. After one more jump, we'll be taking one of these black portals, which will put us over to the right side of the tree. Our objective will be to make it up to the boost pad. Now, as I mentioned before, this race can be done with snowshoes on entirely. However, snowshoes are more convenient for running up to obstacles, not for getting through them. When it comes to tight jumps like this area here and the end platforms on the daylight race, it's usually easier to traverse them with snowshoes toggled off. This is due to the fact that when you start moving in snowshoes, you're immediately taken up to full speed, which is not needed for jumps like this, and even sometimes it's detrimental. Now you can traverse these stairs how you wish, but the quickest and simplest way up will be a full distance hop followed by a short hop followed by another full distance hop. Once you make it past the staircases, you can just do one more jump to take the boost pad up. This next area is going to be ideally where you use your S jump for the lap. Unfortunately, there's not really anything you can use here as a reference point that's near your character, but the iceberg above you can be one if you're looking for something to line up with. After this, it's just a couple more jumps to the next area. Up ahead, you'll see this boost pad here. Jump into it and hold your jump key through the process to get a minor boost here. Additionally, letting go of your arrow keys for this part will allow you to gain just enough height to clear the hill. After this, it's just a sprint to the finish. You have the option of using your rally here if you wish. It will make the sprint go by faster, but remember, there are still a couple more jumps you need to make in order to finish the lap. You'll need to time your jumps carefully regardless of if you have the rally buff or not, but with the rally buff you can actually skip the last platform. This, and there's also one last flame trap located on the second last platform. Either wait for it to erupt first or go right through if you think you have the right timing. After this small platforming section, you can use your dash at the very end to reach the portal. Congratulations, you've completed a lap. Now do it 2 more times. With enough practice on this map, a player can easily clear all 3 laps with 4 to 5 seconds to spare. Consistency in Maplestory is very important. However, when it comes to the sunset race, there are a lot of parts of this race that require patience more than anything. Rushing through the map impatiently and getting hit by a flame trap can easily punish you with time loss. But with a time to beat of 1 minute and 50 seconds, you may be able to still scrape by with a perfect score even if you make 1 or 2 minor mistakes. For more references, you can find links to 2 different races that I run in the description, with one of them actually being a challenge race. The challenge race being where I simulate not having any cooldown stars at all, for fun. Both races being eligible for a perfect score, of course.